Hello, and welcome to episode 40 of the Mindful Knitter podcast. My name is Claire, and I am your host. If you are new, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. This is a channel where we primarily talk about yarny things, a lot of traditional podcast or vlogcast kind of episodes where I share finished objects, works in progress, upcoming projects, and we chat about yarn-related books or my spinning or I say weaving sometimes, but I don't really do tons of weaving, at least not that I show on the channel. I should probably share it if I'm going to mention that I do it. Anyway, natural yarn dyeing. So mostly podcasts, and today I do have some finished objects to share with you guys, some works in progress, and then just a little bit of yarny chat. And again, if you're new, we've also got some other types of videos on the channel, like knitting vlogs, travel vlogs, fiber festivals, that kind of thing. And I'm actually going to share with you guys in the chat after I show you projects. I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little bit of an upcoming video that I'm going to be filming throughout this whole week. This video is going up on Sunday, so I will be filming a video for the week of Spin Together. We'll talk a little bit more about that. So welcome again if you're new. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here with me week after week or however often you're here. This has been just such a blessing of a community to have. If you want to get in contact with me, my social media and my contact information is down below the video in the description. All of the information that I'm sharing with you guys, like patterns and yarn, etc., those are all shared in the more in the description down below the video. I think you click on more. YouTube keeps changing it, but I think you just click on more after the video title and a little drop down pops up with show notes and things like that. So I think that's pretty much it for all of the introduction stuff for today. So let's get into the yarny goodness. What I am wearing, I'll start with that. So what I am wearing is, I shared this a couple of episodes ago. This is my highly, highly modified arts sweater. It's the arts sweater by We Are Knitters. But this is so heavily modified. It's not really even the same pattern anymore, honestly. As you can see, it is very cropped. Right now I'm wearing it with a neutral kind of tank top and some black yoga pants. And it is very, very cropped. It hits right at my natural waist. I have a very high waist. So I did want to have some sort of sweater that hit right at my natural waist. This is knit with a bulky weight yarn, so I did make the sleeves 3/4 lengths, which is perfect. The very cropped length and the 3/4 length sleeves actually make this very comfortable and wearable because that bulky weight yarn really holds in a lot of heat. So not having like my midriff kind of like open and exposed to the air and my arms able to like air out, and then having the wider kind of boat neck collar really makes this so wearable. I can wear it with long dresses. I can wear it, as you can see, with a tank top and pants. I can wear it with high-waisted jeans, and you know, you wouldn't have to wear a tank top under it probably. You could probably wear it with high-waisted jeans and just on its own if you don't mind a little bit of midriff showing, but I've been wearing it with a tank top under it. And it's just incredibly comfortable and soft and warm, but not too warm. It's a little warmer than like a DK weight sweater would be, like a normally constructed kind of DK weight sweater, but honestly, it's I'm finding incredibly versatile. The yarn that I used is again a bulky weight yarn. It's by Nanette Wake Studio. She's an indie dyer on Etsy. She doesn't have this colorway available anymore, but you can kind of get a feel for her dye style by looking at this. And she has not all of her colorways are speckled. She has a lot of variegated and tonals and solids, lots of different bases. I have been, I guess, a loyal customer for a few years now. Ever since I discovered her, I just keep going back for more. This took about three and a half skeins of bulky weight yarn to knit. So I've still got some left if I wanted to add a little bit to the body, or if I wanted to add a little bit to the sleeves. I do have, I think, over half of a skein left. So that is what I am wearing. Again, heavily modified. Usually I did a 2x1 rib on all of the borders. Usually it's a seed stitch, I believe. It's not usually cropped. It usually has long sleeves. I know that there were some other things I modified. I like to do this kind of join for the shoulders when I'm doing drop shoulder stuff, unless there's something like a 3-needle bind off or otherwise specified that I like, but I kind of like the look of this. So that's what I tend to do. And I think that's all I have to really share about this. I love it, and it's comfortable, and I love the color. The yarn's amazing. So I highly recommend everything about it. That's what I'm wearing. My other finished object to share with you guys. And I feel like I'm being kind of like floppy today, like more floppy than usual. So I apologize if that's coming across on camera. I'm very tired the last few days, and I'm honestly not super sure why. I did run out of one of my medicines, and maybe that's one of the things. I say medicines, this one was a supplement. It's like a magnesium, and I don't know if maybe that's affecting my sleep quality because I'm not taking my magnesium, and maybe that's making me more tired. I'm not sure. But hopefully I'm perky enough for you guys, and hopefully I'm also coherent. So my first finished object, I think this will be a shorter podcast today because I don't have tons and tons to show you. I'll talk a little bit about why. There's a little frustration. There's a frogging situation that's happening, so. All right, anyway, but this is my finished object to share with you guys. This is my Traveler Cowl by Andrea Mowry of Dreyer Knits. I give you a little close-up of the colors. Yeah, so this was very fun. This was a very soothing, just, oh gosh, over the face. A very soothing kind of knit. I cast it on while I was sick, and it was just what the doctor ordered. It just goes on so nicely. You barely have to do anything with it. I love that it lays kind of like a shawl, but yeah, it's a cowl, so you just loop it on and you're ready to go. This was knit using the pattern's written for, I believe, DK, and I want to say it was a size US 7 needle. I used a fingering weight and a suri held double. So the fingering weight that I used for the majority of the the cowl, was Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering in the colorway Burlingame. I don't know if they still have this colorway because I got this one several years ago, and I know they do discontinue colors sometimes. So it was Burlingame, and then I held it double with a strand of suri silk from La Bien-Aimée in the Sansa colorway. So this was the Kumo suri silk, and I used up, yeah, all of it. I used up all of the Burlingame, and I used up all of the Sansa, which is why we have this little unexpected guy right here. So this is just several other fingering weight yarns and a couple of other suri silks that I pulled from my scraps or from other projects I was working on that I knew I wasn't going to need all the yarn for. Yeah, so I just added this little pop at the end. I was sort of wanting this to be a completely neutral cowl, like so, but I do think that this little pop right here does make it a little bit more fun and a little more interesting. I can definitely see myself knitting another one of these. So perhaps for the next one, I'll just try to make sure that I have all of the yardage that I'm needing. Maybe I'll do the next one in hand spun, and it would be easy for me to make sure I've got everything I need if I'm doing it in hand spun. because I can plan that ahead of time. For this, I just pulled from stash and just kind of was like, we'll see what happens. It's very warm. It is very warm. This stitch pattern makes it a very kind of squishy and kind of, I guess it translates into being a thicker kind of fabric because it's almost waffly with these exaggerated garter ridges. And then the suri silk alpaca is very warm, and so the suri alpaca held with the wool fingering weight yarn, it makes a very, very warm fabric. So this is cozy AF, and I can, yeah, bundle up to my heart's desire. There's not tons of winter left, so I don't know how much use I'm going to get out of it, but at least this year, but it is ready for me when it gets cold again for next winter. I am just very, very pleased with it. I think it's really cute and very, very wearable. And I'll show you guys the little seam on the back too. I don't know what my hair is gonna do, but we're just gonna hope for the best. As you can see, it's very long, but that creates that wonderful drapiness. And then in the back, it says all knit flat, and then you seam it up. So I didn't do the seam that she recommended, of course, because I have to be a rebel and be different. But this is the little seam on the back, which actually I think looks kind of cute. Yeah, that's quite a lot of fabric for a cowl, I think. That's a lot of fabric for a cowl. But it is very cozy, and I do think I want to make another one. Yeah, it's just, give you those colors again. It's just so cute and very cozy. And again, it was a fun and soothing kind of knit. It didn't really take a whole lot of brain power, which is nice. But it was varied enough with the texture that it did stay interesting and engaging. So I liked this a lot. I really, really like the Traveler series that she's done. I might end up doing a Traveler shawl at some point. I do really like this texture. I don't know, there's just something very satisfying about it. This is my first Andrea Mowry pattern that I have ever knit. And I kind of want to do the shawl with some hand spun. I think that'd be amazing. And then I love her Traveler shell, but it's knit with, I'm pretty sure, sport weight yarn, and I just don't think that at this point in my life I am willing to knit a garment out of sport weight yarn. I say that. I have one sport weight garment project coming up for spring that I might share with you guys in the next podcast episode, because I'll be getting all my spring knits together for that. But that's a very special case. I don't really anticipate doing a lot of sport weight garments. DK is typically about as light as I go for garments, because I'm not a fast knitter. And even though I definitely love the process of knitting, I do tend to get bored pretty easily, so I do like to have new things happening all of the time. That's one of the reasons why I really like knitting with speckled and variegated and tonal yarns rather than solid yarns, because I really like variety. Yeah, I get bored kind of easily, just in life. Yeah, if I'm using a solid yarn, I'm using it for color work or for lace or something where there's, again, variety. I don't have a cute coffee mug with me today because water is important. So that's my finished object to share with you guys. My other kind of sort of finished object is some hand spun yarn. So this is some yarn that I spun up for the farm. I really like this. I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out, but I actually really like the way that it turned out. It's a lot squishier and fluffier, and I really do like it. I'm calling this style of spinning for this alpaca my farm spun yarn, because you can see it's got quite a lot of texture. I was playing around with, spinning different textures of yarn, and I really kind of liked this. So what I did was, I'll tell you a little bit about what I mean when I say I'm spinning for the farm. So there's a local alpaca farm not too far from me, and they do this kind of I guess like partnership with local spinners, where they will just give the blanket or the fleece from an alpaca to the spinner for free. And the deal is we just spin half of that fleece or blanket for the farm, and we get to keep the other half for ourselves. So they sell the yarn in their shop, and it helps kind of cover the cost of them raising the alpacas and taking care of them and everything. So it works out well for the farm, because they get handmade goods from local artisans to sell in their shop, that they don't really have to pay for. And then it works out well for me because I get free alpaca fiber. Free, sort of, like I'm paying for it in labor. But I like spinning, so it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, so I just started partnering with the local alpaca farm just a bit ago. I just see a little bit of vegetation. Yeah, so I take the alpaca fleece raw from the farm, and I process it. So I wash it and dry it and card it and prep it for bats or rollags or roving or whatever I want to do for spinning. Then I spin it. So this was some carded fiber that I then turned into rollags. And the alpaca that this is from, her name is Tiny Dancer, which is so sweet. And yeah, this is my farm spun yarn. It's highly textured. Yeah, I'm going to be spinning more up from just bats and roving, and that'll have a little bit of a smoother texture, but still some texture to it, a little bit. But it's so soft, and I think that it will knit up, I don't know, in just a really fun kind of way. So this is for the farm's shop. So 100% alpaca fiber from the alpaca Tiny Dancer, who is a sweetheart. This is just a 50-gram skein because I was kind of playing around with it. It's 67 yards, 9 wraps per inch. Alpaca is a little denser, so typically, since it is a denser, like heavier, drapier kind of fiber than most wools, it does depend on how you spin it, of course, but a lot of the times you will have less yardage for the weight, just because like alpaca fiber it is denser and it spins up denser than a wool will. It's part of the reason why it's drapier than wool. So yeah, lovely, soft, and it's going into the pile of yarn that I'll take over to the farm when I have a sizable little stack to deliver to them. So that is a finished object. I'm pleased with that. I just got a drum carder, actually. My parents gave me a drum carder for my graduation gift. For those of you who don't know, I just finished my doctoral degree. So yeah, graduated from my doctoral program. So I am now Dr. Claire. Yeah, and my parents wanted to give me a gift for graduating, and they generously got me a brother drum carder. It's not one of the huge, really fancy ones. But it's not one of the mini ones either. It's just kind of a very standard mid-size, mid-range one, which is perfect for what I need. Yeah, it works great. So I'm very grateful to my parents for getting that for me, because that's not something that I would have really felt comfortable purchasing on my own. Because drum carders are expensive. They're not the most expensive thing in the world, I guess, but they're expensive. They're cheaper than spinning wheels, but my spinning wheel was also a gift from my wonderful, wonderful mother-in-law a couple of years ago. So I'm very blessed to have parents that have a gift-giving love language, I guess. I'm blessed to have parents who love me and show me that they love me. So, that was a little tangent. I think that's all I really have to say about the finished objects. My traveler cowl, and then my alpaca yarn. There is an upcoming fiber festival in a couple months, and I'm wondering if I want to vend. I was thinking about selling some hand spun yarn, and then also some naturally dyed yarn because I do some natural dyeing. But I also was kind of wondering, I have a lot of alpaca fiber at this point. There's also a farm in New York that sends me fiber at times, and that my husband will get me fiber from. So I have a lot of alpaca fiber, and I'm wondering if I should blend up some bats and things, maybe some Rolags and stuff to sell at the Fiber Festival. That may be good. I'll think about that. What do you guys think? You think that's a good idea? And to know, for anyone who's wondering, I don't have an Etsy shop or anything, but it is something that I am considering doing at some point. So if you have interest in me selling handspun or bats or Rolags or other fibery things, then yeah, please let me know, because if there's a whole lot of interest, then I am very open to starting a little online shop. So work in progress, I'll share with you guys. I have 2 works in progress. One is fine and the other one is sad. So I'll show you the one that's fine first. I shared with you guys that I was going to cast on a project using the color of the year, the Pantone color of the year, which is peach fuzz. I think it's peach fuzz. So I decided to cast on a Break and Tide cowl by Neilan. Beautiful textured cowl. This is not brioche. This is a modified fisherman's rib, and then modified garter stitch, and I think that's a slip stitch panel as well. So beautiful, and you can do it with or without the tassel. I might do the tassel because I think I'm going to have some extra yarn left over from the fingering weight yarn. I cast on using these colors. I've got this beautiful suri silk and this gorgeous merino and silk single ply fingering weight. The pattern is written for DK, but I am holding fingering and suri double, and I am also not doing 2 colors. I am doing a single color shawl or cowl. I have seen a few samples knit up in 1 color, and they're beautiful. I really like how the single colored samples of these kinds of patterns really show all of the different stitches nicely, or stitch patterns. So this is what I've got so far. I did mess up here, but I'm not going back. I'm just not going back. It is what it is, and I think in the grand scheme of this cowl, it's going to be a lot of fabric, and with its little tassel, and like, I don't think that it'll just get lost in the mix. But yeah, so we've got some modified fisherman's rib here, and then I've started the modified garter section here, and I think that it's knitting up really, really nicely. I love these colors. It feels just luxurious and beautiful. It's a beautiful fabric, and I think that it's going to be an absolute joy to wear. Like an absolute joy to wear. What I did, I talked about this in the last podcast, so since I got sick, I don't know, I'm having some sort of mental block around this pattern, and I can't figure out how to translate the 2 color stuff into 1 color. So I just split my yarn into 4 cakes, and this is still a ball, but 4 cakes. So I'm just working it as if I'm doing the 2 color pattern as written, but I'm just using 1 color. Functionally just the 1 color, and that's kind of how I'm kind of getting around that and not having to translate the pattern into something else. I don't have the yarn information on me for the merino silk single ply. I got it at a fiber festival last year, the Middle Tennessee Fiber Festival outside of Nashville. But this is for the suri silk. So this is Stitch Stuff yarn. And it is their fluff stuff in their Groovy colorway. Yeah, so it's a lace weight, 74% suri alpaca, 26% mulberry silk, 328 yards and 50 grams. And I'll show you again. It's, again, this beautiful, like, variegated peach suri silk. And it's just fluffy and soft and gorgeous. So that's about all I have to share with you about my Break and Tide cowl. I think it's going to be wonderful. For some reason, I just really haven't been super motivated to work on it. When I do work on it, I really enjoy it. But yeah, I haven't been super motivated to work on it for some reason. It is knit on a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needle. So theoretically, this should go pretty quick. Maybe that will be finished for me to show you guys next time. And it's living in my Barley Pearls project bag, which is one of my very favorite bags. I might actually get a couple more from them at some point as I see fabrics I really like, because I do really love how they make their bags. Got this cute little contrast pocket. I really like this size. I really like the structure, how it all stays up, but you know, it's crumpable if you want to crumple it. I love this bat and moth pattern. I love both bats and moths, so it's perfect. Yeah, this is one of my very favorite project bags, which probably means I might get a couple more because I just find them so incredibly usable. I don't know. I don't think I need any more project bags at the moment, but if I do, I know where to find one. Okay, my next work in progress. And this is my only other work in progress that I have going at the moment. That's like an active whip. My brioche arrows is a little bit on hold just because I'm interested in working on other stuff right now, but that is a long-term project. If I don't finish that until the end of the year, I'm fine with it. I cast it on at Christmas with the expectation it would be like a long-term project, because it's a giant 3-skein fingering weight brioche shawl. So I just knew I wasn't gonna finish that one quickly. Do you guys remember this yarn? Do you remember this from the last episode? It's still giving me problems. I don't know. Is my yarn cursed? Okay, so I talked to you guys last week, or 2 weeks ago, about casting on the Easy Like Sunday Morning sweater by, it's not Pearl Soho. I don't think it's Espace Tricot. I don't remember, but I'm not casting it on. So, but it's Easy Like Sunday Morning. It's a highly popular pattern on Ravelry. I decided not to cast it on because all of the swatches that I knit up I didn't like, and I wanted to use this yarn because this is what I have in stash, and I also wanted a pretty like neutral kind of sweater. I need that in my wardrobe. And I tried swatching, not holding it double with something, just on its own, and then I blocked my swatch, and the fabric was just way too open, and it wasn't going to work. So I decided I'm not going to knit that sweater with this yarn. I looked for other patterns, and I did have this in my Ravelry library. So this is The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. Yeah, I've never knit any of Andrea Mowry's patterns, and here I am now knitting 2 of them. This is a great pattern, very much like the Traveler shawl or cowl. It's very intuitive. It's very soothing. But it's still kind of engaging. It's kind of fun to watch the fabric be created as you're going. It's a really good pattern. The problem was me. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I cast on 10 too many stitches. I've never done that in my life. I have never cast on the incorrect number of stitches and not noticed. Like maybe at some point I cast on the wrong number and then counted it and was like, oh no, and then took some off or added some. But never in my life have I cast on the incorrect number of stitches and then continued with great confidence to just knit to the project. No, but I did here. And look how much I knit before I realized that I have 10 too many stitches, which means that I have like 2 or 3 inches extra that I just don't need. And this pattern has this beautiful center seam, or this beautiful center slip stitch right up the middle of your body, not on the side, right in the middle of your body. So that means that, and it was the front panel. So of course, that means that that front seam is going to be over by like 2 to 3 inches, which would look ridiculous. So this is not a mistake that can be glossed over. This is not a mistake with an easy fix. It's going to give me too much positive ease, and it's going to completely throw off that center seam. It will not be center, it'll be askew, and that will look ridiculous. So I have to rip it out. I'm going to have to frog the whole thing. And I already knit up an entire cake, or onion, I guess, an entire onion of this, plus some of this onion. That was probably like 10 hours, because I don't knit quickly. This is probably 10 hours, maybe more, of knitting that I'm just going to have to frog. But it's a testament to this pattern and how much I like it that I am going to rip back to my cast on and recast it on and restart it because this is a very enjoyable knit. It is just enjoyable to knit. It doesn't feel like a slog. It doesn't feel boring. It doesn't feel anything. It's just soothing and enjoyable. So it has that going for it. And it's really fun to see this center, at least for me, it's really fun to see this center slip stitch work its way up as you go. So I want this sweater. I want it in this yarn. So I'm going to frog this and I'm going to restart it. And that's going to happen. Never have I had to do this before. It's really annoying. But this was the perfect pattern for this yarn. It's written for a worsted weight yarn, and this is a worsted weight yarn. I'll share information about the yarn with you in case you want to know and you weren't here in the previous episodes. This is Universal Yarn, the Deluxe Worsted Tweed Superwash. It's this beautiful icy blue with these neutral colored tweedy neps. The color is 915 Cloud Blue. And this is a pretty, I'm going to share actually with you like the price, because this is a pretty decently budget friendly kind of yarn. It was about $10 for 100 grams, which is great. Yep. So I get an entire sweater for about $30, which is amazing. Because for me to do a cropped sweater, I usually am knitting like a size medium, and so it only takes me about 300 grams to knit myself a cropped sweater. Sometimes it's 350 if it's got a lot of positive ease or the sleeves are really long or something. Maybe it's closer to 400 grams, but 300 grams is usually good for me for a sweater if it's DK or worsted. Or even bulky, because this is bulky and this is still only like 3.5 skeins of yarn. Okay. But this pattern was perfect. It needed a worsted weight yarn, and I'll show you a picture of the pattern so you can see. It's got this reverse stockinette stitch and then that center slip stitch running up the center. And then this cute ribbed kind of panel at the top with the drop shoulders. Yeah, and it's got a lot of good positive ease. I am knitting it with a little less positive ease than what she recommends, so I'm knitting size 2 instead of size, I would usually knit size 3 for things, but I'm knitting size 2 for this, because I think the way she has this written, it has like 10 inches of positive ease, and I don't want that much. So I'm knitting the size 2, and I'll just kind of like make sure I'm paying attention to how much I need for my sleeve circumference. But yeah, I love this pattern. What I was realizing as I was in my closet the other day was I've had this happen several times this winter where I want to wear high-waisted jeans with a cropped sweater, but then I don't have just a very easy neutral goes with everything medium weight cropped sweater in my closet. I don't have one at all, store-bought or handmade. So this was the perfect solution. It's a worsted weight, good, comfortable amount of positive ease, neutral color that I can wear with any pants, any jeans. I can wear it to work. I can wear it out with friends. I could wear it to the museum or the library. I could wear it anywhere. This is the perfect solution for that gap in my wardrobe. So I want this sweater, so I'm recasting it on, but I might have to like sage this yarn or something because I have had the craziest time with the yarn breaking. It broke 12 times when I was swatching and when I first started the project. 12 times this yarn has broken just because it had like frayed bits, and then it hasn't broken at all since then. But 12 times at the beginning, this thing broke. And I don't know why. It didn't look like it was chewed by anything. There are no bugs in the yarn. Nothing. And they're not clean cuts. They're like frayed. I don't know. It's very weird to me. Broke a million times. I swatched 5 times with this yarn for this other project, the Easy Like Sunday Morning sweater. None of those swatches worked. But I finally found a pattern that I loved, but then I cast on too many stitches. So this never happens to me. Usually I just cast on a project and go until it's done and then hooray. So have you had this happen before? Have you ever worked with cursed yarn? Please tell me your cursed yarn stories. I don't want to feel alone. Oh my goodness. So that's my other work in progress, and we'll just see what happens with that. I think that's all my projects. So I'll share with you guys my plans for the next video that you guys will be seeing. I am participating in Spin Together this year. If you're not familiar with what Spin Together is, it is a yearly event. It might happen twice a year, but it certainly happens once a year. It is a competition typically, but I am not competing. I am just going to be participating. And Spin Together is 1 week. It starts noon your local time on a Sunday. Today, when this video is going up, is when it starts this year. And then it ends on noon local time, whatever your local time is, on, I think that's Saturday. So you get like 7 days. All the official information for Spin Together is, on Google, and they have a Facebook page too. So people will form teams, and you are trying to spin, your team is trying to spin as much yardage as possible in that week. It's a fun little challenge for yourself, just for like a week out of the year, to just spin as much as you can, see what happens. But it is a competition, so there are prizes and things. Again, I'm not participating as a competitor. I'm just participating for fun and the social part of it and the challenge part of it, and kind of the focused spinning. I recently got an order. I placed an order with Artemis Yarns in December when she was doing her big December sale at the holidays. And she released this collection, I think in the fall, called the Hedge Witch collection, which is like beautiful and earthy and magical. And I didn't get anything when she released that collection. But then in December, she had this big sale. Her fiber from the collection and the other things she had too were on sale. So I was like, this is my time. So I ordered the fiber and got a sweater's quantity because I was just thinking how incredibly fun would it be to have a sweater made from the Hedge Witch, hand spun from Artemis Yarns. That just sounds so fun. So it was delivered last week, the week before, and I was like, when's Spin Together? Because I'd never participated, but I had it in my mind. I knew about it, and I looked it up, and lo and behold, it's this week. So I prepped for it last week, and that's my plan. I'm going to be spinning a sweater's quantity in a week, This is a good way for me to get that whole project done, for the spinning's part of it, all at one time so that the spin is really consistent. I don't have different weights of yarn throughout the sweater. So it's all spun the same at the same time, and it's going to be really fun to do it all at the same time, I think, and very like motivating, so that I don't think I'll get bored because the colorway is really, really interesting and fun, and it's bats, and bats are really fun to spin from. So I don't think I would get bored, but it'll also help me not get bored because I'm just doing it for a week and then it's done. So I'm doing Spin Together, and that's why. I put together a little group chat on Instagram for everybody who wants to spin with me, just so that we can chat about our spinning or just socialize during Spin Together week. So if you want to send me a message on Instagram, I will add you to that group chat. We've got a small group right now, and everybody's really, really sweet, and they're having fun so far, and I'm having fun. So you're very welcome to join us. Please do. You don't have to have any grand spinning plans. Even if you just want to kind of spectate, you're very welcome. I think we have one person in the group right now who isn't spinning, but is really interested in spinning. So she's just taking the opportunity to kind of be part of the fun spinning week with us, even though she's not spinning anything. Yeah, so that's what's happening, and I'm going to be filming all of the spinny goodness for this week, and I'll upload that for you guys afterwards. Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm really kind of pumped about it. I talk more about the fiber, and I show you guys the fiber, and I talk more about my project and all of the fun in that video. So check it out. It'll be out in about a week. Think that's about it for today. I will just do one final thing. I'll just share, because I didn't share this with you guys last week. You've probably seen this, but if you haven't, I got the final issue of Pom Pom magazine. So Pom Pom Quarterly is no longer printing, which is very sad for us all, but I did get, I took advantage of their closeout sale and ordered several issues, and then I did get this issue as well. I'll just show you a few of the projects I'm really excited about that are in this issue. So this is the Raya, and it looks woven, which is beautiful. I think this is a fingering weight kind of poncho. Is this the Ordito? Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, this is Italian, Ordito. So I'm not as good at Italian. But these socks are just totally beautiful, and I want to knit them, and I want to knit them in those colors. I love them. I actually really also love this slip over, the Convergence. I think that's gorgeous. Yeah, really excited about that. I think this is cool, the Tuskkraft. Again, I'm probably not saying these correctly, but I think it's beautiful. What a good plaid. And what a great slip over, so wearable. Let's see. There might have been one other. Oh, no. Okay, so those were the patterns that I was most excited about for this one. Yeah. Oh, I do think that's a really good hat, too, actually. The tapestry hat. It's really good. So, yeah, this is their final issue, and it's so sad. We all are going to miss them so much, but I'm very excited that I got this issue. And I'm really happy that I was able to get the other issues that I got in print as well. I'm going to have my little like pom-pom section of my yarn library, and it makes me so happy. It's really, really awesome having some of these things in print. So many of the patterns that I make are digital, and there's just something wonderful about having something tangible. And I love that you can read more about the inspiration with the patterns. They have some like articles in here. They typically have like a recipe as well. It's just, yeah, a wonderful way to sit and drink coffee and read about knitting while not knitting. Just another layer to the obsession. So it goes into my little library there, and I think that's about all I have to share with you guys today. This was still a pretty substantial episode, even though I had less to share than usual, because I talk a lot. Hopefully don't mind. Yeah, so that's my plan for this coming week, is I'm going to do a lot of spinning. And then, of course, I will share that project with you when I decide which sweater I'm going to be knitting. And it might be for the fall, who knows? But I'm excited about getting the yarn spun up. And my cowl, my peach fuzzy cowl, is going to be beautiful. That sweater will obey me, and I will have a beautiful sweater in my closet, and I will get to wear it, and I will enjoy it. I'm going to break the yarn curse, but not break the yarn. Oh boy. I hope that you guys have a really wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.